I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, January the 5th, brought to you in part by norphenol by Norbrook. Florphenol, the active ingredient in norphenol, is fast. It reaches therapeutic blood levels in the lungs within 30 minutes of being administered. Let norphenol help you get to the bottom of BRD fast. For more information, go to norbrook.com. Choice rib wreck. Maybe I shouldn't get you so excited about a complete wreck, but it is sucking our box beef cutout values down in a big way on the choice side since we've come through the holidays. There's such big demand for choice rib rolls, steaks, and everything that comes from your choice rib there right during the holidays, leading up to it with holiday parties and even for New Year's. And after we lose that demand, it goes down. And of course, you're not just your packers, but your retailers and your wholesalers, and everybody was gouging, taking advantage of all that demand. And we had all-time record highs for our choice ribs late in December there. In fact, it was so high that it was 15% higher than the previous highest record, which was just a year ago. Well, ever since then, it has done nothing but fall. It has dropped $100 per hundred. Now that sounds like a bunch, but really it's just $1 a pound. I bought 3 choice rib rolls there, boneless, for Christmas. They cost me about $14 a pound, so now they'd be about $13 a pound. So I guess maybe we shouldn't call it a wreck, but in the whole scheme of things, it's a big deal. And your choice beef, your box beef cutout values, and the choice has been down $15. Now that's on the cutout price that we quote. $15 is a lot just in a week, and that was pretty much all due to your choice rib, which your box beef cutout values are a big culmination of all the different cuts put together. So we see that the choice rib plays a big role in that, and it being down is making it. It's going to make it tough for your packers to stay out of the red, and likely they will go into the red as far as what we know. But you know, I don't know about you guys, but I've toured those big packing houses many times. Used to work in the one in Amarillo early in my career when I worked with meat grading, and they're harvesting a lot of stuff that we don't know anything about. You know, they were pulling spinal cords where we used to stand to tag carcasses back when I was working with meat grading there, and all those little things that they're pulling, you know, we don't know about those, and we don't know what they're getting for those, and I don't think they're included in the margin that gets reported all the time by some of your major ag media outlets. So I'm not going to feel too sorry for them. I don't know if you are or not, but you know, there's times in business that you have to operate in the red if you're going to operate year-round. Well, it's that time for your packers, and I don't see the packers worried too much whenever they're buying fat cattle off cattle feeders that had to pay big prices for their feedlot replacements, or they had a lot of health problems or anything like that. They don't worry about that at all, so we don't need to worry about them. Okay, just get that right. But it's going to be a tough first quarter for packers, and you know, they're just going to have to manage it the best way they can. Now your cattle sellers, I'm proud of them. They've hung right in there this week. They got the 175 up in the northern plains and in the Midwest. Haven't sold a lot of cattle that way, but about 15,000 or so. That's nothing to sneeze at, and 275 dressed. Southern Plains guys, they want more. They say, hey, we're tighter on our market ready supplies than they are up north. You should have to give 177 for ours. I'm sure 175 would trade some cattle in the Southern Plains, but they haven't got to that yet. Probably we'll get to that here on Friday, but we'll just see what happens. We'll talk about that early next week. But according to the Cattle on Feed report, the last one available, cattle on feed with 120 days or more are 6% more plentiful than they were a year ago. So they should have enough cattle out there. and they've certainly pulled their change speeds back, and the harvest has been so slow that it's backed cattle up, and that's evident with the 6% up. But there's cattle out there. They're not plentiful. We're going to get to tighter supplies going on through this year. We get to the second quarter and places like that, we're going to have tighter supplies, good opportunities for good markets in all classes of cattle. But, you know, we've got to keep the fat cattle market up there. Can these packers pull their change speeds in so slow that they can just get by on the formula cattle? That's been our fear. It's been my fear forever, that they're not buying any negotiated cash cattle. But to be truthful, the packers really like how it is right now. They can buy just a handful of cattle in a negotiated manner. Likely a lot of them typically are the plainest cattle that they can buy. They keep them in the negotiated FOB cash price there, and that sets their formulas, the base price for them. They like that. They're going to have to go back to the drawing boards if they don't buy any cattle negotiated. So likely they will continue to buy just a handful, but they're not going to give cattle feeders enough leverage to where they can really hold them over the barrel. And likely this week is one of the biggest bending over the barrels that your packers ever get. And they're running on lower cutout values, so they're a little bit frustrated with things. But a light snowstorm in the southern plains, in the Texas Panhandle, and in southwest Kansas, that usually makes your packers get excited about getting some cattle put together, and it does suck some weight off the cattle, which are both bullish for the market. Let's talk about your Lynn's Heritage Angus. Now, we've talked a lot about Lynn's Heritage Angus on here lately, but not about their cows. And there are lots of opportunities to buy big EPDs in these Angus sales, but fewer opportunities to buy from a cow herd with good structure, muscle, and mothering ability. Lynn's Heritage has some of the most impressive females in the business. Be thinking about that sale January the 18th here on DVAuction, Lynn's Heritage Angus. Let's talk about your board. How about February live cattle futures down 72 cents at 171.12. April down 45 at 174.30. Your back months on live cattle down 15 to down 65, but not terrible, and we've had more ups than we've had downs this week. January feeder cattle down 140 at 224.67, taking some of those gains back. March down 137 at 225.65. Your back months are down 70 cents to down 127. March corn up 1 1/4 cent at 466.5. January beans down 7.5 cents at 12.62. March Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 4 1/4 cent at 6.25 3/4 cents a bushel. Fat cattle trade, pretty much told you guys about it a while ago. Iowa sold 1,400 head on Thursday, just 6,700 head for the week. The market on Thursday was the same as on Wednesday, 174 to 175 mostly, and 275 dressed. Now both of those, they're going to be $2 to $3 higher there. Nebraska, 1,600 head on Thursday, 7,600 for the week, which is nothing. Packers will have to buy more cattle here on Friday to get through, especially in the southern plains. Not sure where that's going to trip. They'll probably do all they can to break the board hard on Friday to try to get some cattle bought cheaper, but not sure if they're powerful enough to do that or not. Probably they are. Nebraska, 175 live and 275 dressed. Now I have heard cattle selling as high as 279 dressed to some of your smaller regionals, and thank God we have the regionals out there, or we wouldn't have had any of this trade. Most all of this trade that we've seen this week has been to regionals as they come out of the holidays kind of short bought there. But your box beef cutout values, of course we talked all about them, down $15 on the choice in just a week, but on Thursday afternoon down $2.13 at $275.90. Select down just 3 cents at $258.82, and that choice select spread is narrowing pretty fast. Slaughter 380,000 for this holiday week. Can't really compare it to Christmas week, but compared to the same week a year ago, we're down but just 6,000. And I have heard that there are some plants that are planning on a Saturday kill this Saturday that haven't been having a Saturday harvest. So we should have a pretty impressive kill for this week when we get it all totaled up. Your actual slaughter information come back, of course, 2 weeks behind, but 942 pounds for your average dressed steer carcass weight, which is gigantic and 1 pound bigger than the previous report. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services. Of course, after our previous feeder flash where I gave you the ABCs of the LRPs, I think it likely brought up more questions than it did answer those questions. If you've got those questions, give them a call. That's either Dakota Moss or any of the agents that he has working with him in and around Oklahoma there. They are your LRP specialists. They can answer your questions. Just go to livestockriskservices.com, look on there, find an agent that you happen to know or one that's close to you or you're most comfortable with. Give them a call. Ask your questions to them. Doesn't cost anything to do that. They can tell you what it costs, what it's about, and all those things that you want to know. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DVAuction. Late in the day on Thursday, sitting at 226.80. That was up, but just 12 cents a hundred. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index up to 228.65. Talk about some special sales. Russell, Iowa, Russell Livestock Market in Russell, Iowa. They are a DVAuction broadcaster. They're having a big special bred cow sale this Saturday, the 8th here. It starts at noon on Saturday, and they will have some really impressive bred cows and bred heifers there. You can take your pick, get on to DVAuction.com, get approved and bid on those. And then on Monday, Russell Livestock Market in Russell, Iowa is going to have a big feeder cattle special Monday the 8th. So that Saturday is not the 8th, that's the 6th. But on Monday the 8th, they are having that feeder cattle special. So be sure to check out Russell Livestock Market in Russell, Iowa for both of those sales. Also, Jack Payne, my buddies there at Nevada Livestock Marketing in Fallon, Nevada. That's northern Nevada, guys. They're having a special feeder cattle auction here today on this Friday, expecting about 2,000 head for the special feeder sale. Now they're working on Pacific time. It starts at noon Pacific, which ain't till 2 o'clock Central, so you have plenty of time to get straightened up, get ready to watch that sale on DVAuction.com. Let's talk about our big sales on Thursday. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas had 4,700 head. The market reporting, which sucks there in Kansas, called the steer calves $4 to $10 higher, heifer calves $2 to $4 lower. Are you kidding me? And your feeders unevenly steady. I saw one impressive stick out on some yearling feeder steers. 58 head weighed 839 and bring 229.50. I don't remember anything like that before the holidays. Do you? Talk about your NationalBeefWire stick out sale of the day. Ogallala Livestock Auction in Ogallala, Nebraska. 4,700 head for them also. Very impressive sale there. Look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central. You see your best tested weights. 644 head of 5-weight steers, average 555, with a weighted average price of $296.67. 768 head of 6-weight steers, average 641, weighted average price $270.02. Are you kidding me? 510 head of the 7-weight steer calves in Ogallala, average 744 pounds, weighted average price on those $242.71. Look at some heifers. About 421 head of 4-weight heifers, average 466 pounds with a weighted average price $298.29 on heifers. Your average price on all those 4-weights. 804 head of the 5-weight heifers, average 557 at $276.38, and 641 head of 6-weight heifer calves, Ogallala, Nebraska, average 646, weighted average price $246.85. How about some individual quotes from all around? Winter Livestock in Pratt, Kansas sold 61 steers, weighed 847 at $235. Very impressive there. $8 or $9 higher than what your real-time index is, weighing well into the 8s. I thought it was really impressive. How about New Cambria Livestock Auction? New Cambria, Missouri, north central Missouri there. And that's a new, fairly new broadcasting barn for DVAuction there. Phil McVee does a good job there. Met him, was impressed with him. Look at these heifers, big string of heifers. Feeder heifers, they went to feed, guys. 116 heifers weighed 737 and bring 226 1/4 to feed. How about Valentine Livestock Auction in Valentine, Nebraska, way up in northwestern Nebraska there. This is a very impressive sale. I didn't call it my top quote for the day because I got another one that sits in a place that doesn't get big quotes, but the Arabia Ranch in the Valentine area sold 131 steer calves. They weighed 508 and bring 336. Whoa. How about Mitchell Livestock Marketing in Mitchell, South Dakota? On the other end of the spectrum, some big steers. 54 steers weighed 1,000 pounds smooth and bring 222 1/4. I thought that was impressive. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come from way out west in Orland Livestock Commission Yard in Orland, California. One of our western broadcasting barns on DVAuction. They sell 52 steers, weighed 500 pounds smooth at $322.50 way out west in California. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.